And I put all of this together. And now I believe this is going to be a landmark book to change people's, not just their present situations, but their generational situations.
That's Dr. Willie Jolley, motivational speaker and author of the new book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. And in this conversation, Dr. Jolley breaks down something many of us were never clearly taught over the years, the difference between being rich and being wealthy. Today, he's going to walk you through 3 wealthy shifts that could completely change how you think about money. Let's start with number 1. For those who may not understand the difference between rich and wealthy, what is the difference?
Yeah, let me tell you what the difference is in a nutshell. Rich is the result of money you earn from what you do. Whatever you do, if you are an architect, engineer, a lawyer, a doctor, a athlete, if you are able to earn an income from your services and you're good at it, you can become rich. Wealthy is money you generate from what you own. So rich is money you make or earn during the day, usually by what you do. Wealthy is money you earn or generate at night, typically while you're sleeping, by what you own.
Well, that sounds simple, but here's where it gets real. He gave an example that makes this difference impossible to ignore.
I was recently in Cleveland, and I was speaking at a number of events. On the second day, my client took me to a fancy restaurant. While we were there, one of the star players from the Cleveland Browns football team was walking by with his entourage. My client said, "Hey, come over. I want you to meet Dr. Jolley." And so the young man comes over, and this client says, "Dr. Jolley teaches people how to become wealthy." And the young man said, "I'm already wealthy, but I guess I can learn more." I gave him my card. We chatted for a moment. He had his fur coat on and his jewelry around his neck and his bracelet, diamond bracelet, and his entourage. Well, we finished chatting. He left. And I said to my client, I said, "I don't know his finances, but I can bet you dimes to dollars that he's rich and he thinks he's wealthy. The owner is wealthy." That young man got on the field. He ran up and down. He caught the ball. He ran the ball. He went to spring training. He did all the work, and he got $1 million contract to play football. The owner never ran up and down a field. He didn't sweat. But at the end of the game, the young man made millions while the owner made billions. And he did it without doing any extra work.
The player worked, the owner owned, and that's the shift. Now, this next shift is personal, and honestly, it explains a lot about how many families think about money.
Entrepreneurs will work hard. The best example is my grandmother. My grandmother was an entrepreneur. She had a beauty shop in West Philadelphia, and she worked hard. She constantly worked up until her day she died at 88. She did 3 heads that day, sat down and died with a pocket full of money. Here's the thing, though. When my grandmother died, she left us money. She left us some money, but no assets other than her home. Okay. And so here's what we find is that my mama, I don't know about your mama, I don't know about the listeners' mama, my mama and my grandmama and them told me, go to school, get a good education, get your job, and save your money. They never said the word invest because they went through the Great Depression. Many of them lost money in the stock market crash in 1929. And my grandmother and my mother and grandfather, they never trusted the stock market again.
The advice wasn't wrong. It was just incomplete. Many families were taught survival, not ownership. And that mindset is what compounds over generations. Here's the good news. Wealth does not require perfection. It requires a system.
My system is I tithe a dime of every dollar. I save a dime of every dollar. I invest a dime of every dollar. I live on 50% of what I bring in, and I have 20% left over for fun and miscellaneous. If you just have that system, it will help you grow your wealth.
And you don't have to use his exact formula. You just have to have one. Wealth is intentional, it's disciplined, and it's structured. Before we close this out, Dr. Jolley shared two stories that really bring this home. One proves it's not too late. The other proves income alone is not enough.
Now, last thing is you said something I thought was important, that they're behind. Okay, they feel they're behind. They haven't done it up to this type. I had a guy I interviewed recently who was a fireman. He retired from the fire department, and they gave him I called it IAP or something like that. It's a pool of money. It's about 12 grand, and said this was one of the things that goes along with your retirement. For maybe they paid him for the days of he didn't use his sick leave or whatever. They gave him a pool of money, and so he said, "What am I going to do with this $12,000?" He said, "I'm 65 years old. What am I going to do? I guess I could put this down on a new car. Or I could go on vacation." He said, "No, I've heard about this investment thing." So he went and bought a book learning about finances, financial literacy. He took the money, he invested the money. 6 years later, he had amassed $890,000.
Wow.
6 years later, because he was consistent. He just kept taking those little checks and his little extra money and his little side money and investing it. 890,000 from an initial investment of 12,000. And so he was 65. He's now 71. He said, "Brother Jolley, if I can do it, anybody can do it." I was on drugs early in my life. I had been a drug dealer. I got in the fire department that changed my life. And now look at what's possible.
And here's the flip side, because sometimes the issue isn't earning more, it's managing what you already earn.
See, my granddaughter's a tech lady in Silicon Valley, 30-year-old. She makes six figures. But I gave her the book when I had the first edition pre-release. She called me about 2 months later and said, "Pop, this book has changed my life. Now, what I'm going to tell you, Pop, you're not going to like." I said, "Okay, what are you going to tell me?" She said, "I'm in debt. I got credit card debt." Because I thought I was a big spender. I was big baller. I've been going to Hawaii. I've been going to this place, that place, putting on my credit card. I got this credit card debt. I'm in a $3,000 a month apartment in downtown San Jose. She said, "I'm in debt. My lease is about to be renewed, and I decided I'm going to sleep in my car for the next 3 months." I said, "What?" She said, "I'm in a safe area. I can sleep in the parking lot of my office building. I'll go to the gym and shower." I said, "No, I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do that." I said, let's pray about it." So we talked a week later. She said, "Okay, I know you've been praying for me. An apartment came available for half of what I've been paying in a nice area. I'm going to take it. And I'm going to take that difference and I'm going to attack this credit card debt." I said, "That makes sense. And I'm going to start making my lunch. I'm going to stop eating out and I'm going to cut up my credit cards. I'm only going to keep one." I said, "That's the right answer. And you're on your way to wealth."
Rich may be what you earn, wealth is what you build. The book is called Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. I'm Esther Dillard, and this is The Color Between the Lines.